both clerics on both sides is trying to find a target for their sleep or absolve here. That's the usual and common strategy for clerics. Bigazin, nice execution by Blackpin here. He was able to disable the XDC Duda here, and both raiders of the BaiOnTop were able to react on that. But do they have enough damage to kill Ziduda? They don't have enough damage to Ziduda. Nice support by the clerics and by the clerics of TaclobansFinest there.
Let's see if they are queuing already. Oh, it's going to start now, guys. Starting. So let's go. Type W in the chat, guys. Let's go. So both teams have arrived. For TaclobansFinest lineup, we have Duda and the IGNs for clerics. We have shortcuts and powerful and Tigazin for raiders. So we have 3 raiders here on TaclobansFinest. While on BaiOnTop, we have Dohakat, Jisoo, Blackfin, B, and Unburn. So there you go. I cannot tell which class are these, but I can see mages and 2 clerics. So the raiders of BaiOnTop went on stealth. Blackfin is trying to render the enemies here on his screen, while the TaclobansFinest here are compressing on each other. So the DR cleric, I think, is it the DR cleric? The DR cleric of TaclobansFinest is trying to initiate here, but he went back immediately. BB, one of the raiders of BaiOnTop, initiated, and there you go. They started the clash. Duda got stunned. B, the raider got slept here and debuff. Now Unburn is trying to recover B here. Ziduda is trying to disable the other BB. Now shortcuts here was stunned, but the damage of BaiOnTop wasn't able to follow through. Shortcuts is trying to aim on Unburn, on Unbuff Unburn. Nice absolved by the TaclobansFinest clerics there. B is dead. One of the raiders on BaiOnTop is dead. Now Dohakat is being chased by Ziduda, while the other fighters are clashing here on the middle part. The in cleric of TaclobansFinest was successfully disabled Dohakat here, but shortcuts aim cancelled the sleep. Now Blackpin is trying to stun Powerful here. Now I think 2 raiders of BaiOnTop are unbuffed, while most of the BaiOnTop players are dead here. I don't know what actually happened because they are too compiled on this part and I cannot really tell what's going on. So there you go. The first round goes to TaclobansFinest. So the current score now is 1-0 in favor of TaclobansFinest. Now though, Tigazin is initiating while on stealth here, scouting for the position of BaiOnTop. Now TaclobansFinest are moving together and trying to aim to fire Jisoo. They successfully killed Jisoo here. Now they're aiming for one of the raiders here on BB, but Powerful got the buff. Now Ziduda is trying to disable BB here. Yeah, most of the TaclobansFinest is aiming on the B raider, while BB and B is on Powerful. Tigazin here was disabled, but the damage of BaiOnTop for being chased by the other fighters of TaclobansFinest too. Now Tigazin is trying to kill the Hakat alone with the help of the DR cleric here. The Hakat was disabled, and yes, Powerful was able to react on that, and they successfully killed Dohakat. Nice reaction from Powerful there. Now Jesus tried to disable the 8 cleric here, but Ziduda was able to disable Jisoo here, and nice reaction by Tigazin. He was able to react on the disabled Jisoo there. Now BB is the left alone here, I think, with Blackfin. That was a nice execution by the TaclobansFinest. Shortcuts and Powerful have really good reaction there. The bet is 30 billion, guys. 30 billion. They have side bet of 30 billion. Race to 10 ba to? Yes, it's race to 10. The first one to reach 10 wins is the winner. Okay, bro. Okay, bro, Turkish. But we will mention that later on after the stream. Or maybe if there are dull moments, I'll mention that. So here you go again. TaclobansFinest is beautifully moving together here. Now the two raiders of BaiOnTop were on stealth and trying to aim for Duda. I saw an unburnt. Unburnt was disabled, but Tikazin was stunned here. Now Ziduda is unbuffed, and he successfully disabled one of the B raiders here. The in cleric of TaclobansFinest is disabled. Blackfin is trying to disable shortcuts and Powerful here. BB, the both BB were able to kill Powerful. Yes, they successfully killed Powerful here, but BB got stunned here, so as Tigasin and Ziduda. Now the two raiders of BaiOnTop successfully killed the in cleric here. Now they're chasing for the DR cleric, but they didn't successfully. Oh, nice! They successfully killed the DR cleric of TaclobansFinest here, and both clerics of the TaclobansFinest are dead. Now they're trying to, but the fighters of TaclobansFinest here, Powerful is unbuffed, while Tigasin was disabled and killed by the two raiders here. Now the BaiOnTop was just clearing out the remaining members of TaclobansFinest. That was a nice execution here by the BaiOnTop. I think it was unfortunate with the disables. I think Duda is trying to save his teammates, but the two raiders were on him first. So the score now is 2-1, still in favor of TaclobansFinest. By the way, guys, later on we will have Wheel of Names for everyone who will greet Poorman in the stream. So make sure to greet Poorman here on the chat, and we will have Wheel of Names later according to him. So here, Dohakat, the DR cleric of BaiOnTop, is trying to initiate and scout for the position here. Now, as usual, TaclobansFinest is trying to move together. Greet, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Poorman. I think the clerics are trying to get a target here for their absolve or sleep probably. Tigazin is on stealth, scouting for the position of BaiOnTop. Blackfin tried to initiate with a blink. Now Powerful here, and Ziduda and B got disabled. There's so much going on, I cannot comment anything right now. But Tigazin here is disabled, stunned, and silenced by Jisoo. So as Powerful, but the fighters of BaiOnTop were also disabled here. Now the two raiders, most of the fighters and one mage of BaiOnTop is trying to aim on the in cleric. Yes, they were able to kill the in cleric. Now they're chasing for the mutant DR cleric here. Most of them are chasing. Nice execution by, nice disable there by the mages of BaiOnTop here. Most of the TFs players are disabled here. That was a good execution and disabled by the mages of BaiOnTop there. Now, both clerics are dead for TaclobansFinest. I think two raiders, unbuffed Powerful and Tigazin on stealth. Yeah, I think Tigazin is better if you let them kill you, bro. It won't matter anyway. You're just prolonging the fight, bro. So there you go. This round goes to BaiOnTop. Yo guys, the match is really good. Yeah, grit on the stream, guys. It only counts. He said on stream. So he said, make a wheel of names, boss. Whoever write happy birthday for man on your stream. Okay. Uh, are you there? Yeah, later on I will get the names. Because I cannot do it right now, because if I do it right now, it will buy too much time. Furman, if you can compile the usernames, maybe. If you can help me compile the names of usernames of those who greeted you. Yeah. Because if I copy paste their username right now, I will miss out the match. So there you go. Doha Cat is trying to get some targets here. Now B, one of the raiders of BaiOnTop, is one still trying to scout for the position of TaclobansFinest here. But as usual, TaclobansFinest is moving together and on compress. Now they're just feeling it. They're trying to find the right time to initiate. Both clerics on both sides is trying to find a target for their sleep or absolve here. That's the usual and common strategy for clerics. Pigazin. Nice execution by Blackfin here. He was able to disable the XDC Duda here, and both raiders of the BaiOnTop were able to react on that. But do they have enough damage to kill Ziduda? They don't have enough damage to Ziduda. Nice support by the clerics and by the clerics of TaclobansFinest there. They were able to support Ziduda with the heals. Doha Cat here got slept. There's so much going on. My brain cannot cope up. Ziduda is being disabled by Jisoo here, while Tigazin is chasing Doha Cat. Shortcuts and Tigazin were disabled, but there's no follow through. I think in cleric of TaclobansFinest is dead here. So as the in cleric of BaiOnTop, but Doha Cat was able to recover him. Powerful here is disabled by Blackfin. Both of the one of the raiders of BaiOnTop is dead, but Doha Cat was able to rescue the other one. Both clerics of TaclobansFinest are dead. Now the BaiOnTop is just clearing out the remaining fighters of TaclobansFinest here. Tigazin is trying to do something, being unbuffed. This round goes to BaiOnTop. So the current score now is 2-3 in favor of BaiOnTop. Wow, we have 73 viewers. Shout out to you all guys. So far the match is good, guys. Both teams are really good. They are playing on a high level. So the DR Cleric of TaclobansFinest here tried to initiate, but he went back. There will be a giveaway later on, I think, according to Turkish bot. Tigazin is on stealth, trying to scout for the position of BaiOnTop here. Now, as usual, TaclobansFinest is moving on together. They try to initiate and let me turn off that derp. I got distracted by that derp. Powerful and shortcuts are aiming on Unburnt, but Unburnt was recovered by the other cleric here. Most of the fighters of TaclobansFinest is on Unburnt, but they weren't able to kill him. Now, both clerics of BaiOnTop were disabled, that's why they successfully killed Unburnt here, but Dohakat was able to recover him immediately, while B and BP is aiming on the in cleric of TaclobansFinest here. Dohakat is trying to buy some time to recover Unburnt here, but Dohakat is being chased by Powerful and Tegazin. The the fighters of BaiOnTop were trying to help him. He successfully recovered at Burnhill, but will he survive? Will the clerics of BaiOnTop survive here? Ziduda got disabled, but Unburned is dead again. Dohakat is disabled, but he was able to rest Unburned again. Ziduda is dead, but recovered by the in cleric here. But the in cleric of TaclobansFinest were aimed by the fighters and they successfully killed him, but there's so much show going on, guys. I think most of them are doing their part here. The clerics are doing fast resus, while the fighters, both fighters have good reactions, especially the raiders of TaclobansFinest. They were able to follow through with the stun. Shortcuts and Powerful is aiming on the muted and burnt Hinso as Duda. Higasin is disabled here. Dohakat is dead. Where's the other cleric of BaiOnTop here? I think both cleric of BaiOnTop are dead. The fighters of BaiOnTop is trying to have a comeback from here, but it's only B left here. So that round goes to TaclobansFinest. Now the score is 3-3, guys. This is a really good match. I feel like this will be like the finals match, guys. Now both teams are moving now. As usual, TaclobansFinest is moving on the corner and still they are moving together and compress closer to each other, while BaiOnTop here are a bit more spread. Now the DR cleric of TaclobansFinest tried to initiate, but he paid the price from that by Blackfin was able to disable. Powerful and Shortcuts is aiming on the BB Raider here, but Powerful got disabled. Most of them are disabled and slept here. Now the in cleric of TaclobansFinest is dead. Will the fighters of BaiOnTop able to kill the DR cleric? Nice. Both cleric of TaclobansFinest here are dead. Now the fighters of BaiOnTop are just clearing them one by one together. Most of them are just aiming on one target. Now BB is on multi-kill. Nice. That was a fast and clean execution by BaiOnTop. That was a fast round. So the current score now is 3-4 in favor of BaiOnTop. That was a smooth execution by the BaiOnTop there. I think most of them went on one target. Now Tigasin trying to initiate. So a shortcut. They went on stealth. Tigasin went on stealth. They were aiming for Jisoo. Were they able to kill Jisoo here? There's so much shield for Jisoo here and they paid the price. Nice stun by Blackfin. Now shortcuts is unbuffed and muted. Both traders of BaiOnTop here is trying to aim for the Ink Cleric. Jisoo got stunned. Powerful is on him. Shortcuts got stunned. I think Powerful was able to kill Jisoo alone there. Both mages of BaiOnTop were dead. Now most of the fighters of TaclobansFinest is aiming for the DR Cleric here. Where's Unburnt? I cannot see Unburnt. Unburnt is being chased by Duda. While Powerful and Shortcuts is aiming on Dohakat here, chasing for Dohakat. They're trying to kill Dohakat. So as nice stun by Blackfin there. Now Dohakat has time to recover Unburnt here. But Shortcuts but Dohakat here got disabled. Now Unburnt is recovered again by Dohakat. Dohakat is trying to buy some time here. I think Dohakat is trying to buy some time, but he got disabled. Yes, Dohakat is still alive, trying to recover Unburnt here. Nice recover by Dohakat there. He was muted, but the fighters of TaclobansFinest wasn't able to kill Dohakat. Nice recovery by Dohakat there. I think Dohakat is the, I don't know how you read it, Dojakat or Dohakat. Dojakat was able to recover Unburnt, and not only that, she was also able to buy some time, because while the fighters of TaclobansFinest are aiming for her, the fighters of BaiOnTop was able to focus on the supports of TaclobansFinest. So the current score now is 3-5. Correct me guys if I am wrong. B is on stealth trying to scout for the position of TaclobansFinest here. While the DR Clerics of both teams is trying to get a target for their sleep here. The DR Cleric of TaclobansFinest is unbuffed here. Duda is disabling Dojakat here. Most of the fighters of TaclobansFinest is aiming for the Ink Cleric here. Unburnt, yes, they successfully killed Unburnt here. Now they're chasing for Dojakat here, but Dojakat is good on escaping. Nice stun by B there. Will he able to kill Powerful alone? No, Powerful got healed by their clerics. Now Dojakat got stunned and two raiders were on him. Yes, the TaclobansFinest raider were able to kill Dojakat here, but will Unburnt able to recover Dojakat here? Where's Unburnt? Both clerics of BaiOnTop are dead. Now both traders of all of the remaining fighters of BaiOnTop were standard good stun by the mage of TaclobansFinest there. I think the TaclobansFinest have lucky stuns there. Good disables by the mage of TaclobansFinest. So that round goes to TaclobansFinest. So the current score now is 4-5 still in favor of BaiOnTop. Now the DR Cleric of TaclobansFinest is trying to slip Dojakat, I think, but he paid the price for that. He got muted, but nice recovery by the Ink Cleric of TaclobansFinest. He was able to purify the DR Cleric here from muted, but Ziduta here is disabled, being slapped by Unburnt. And I think both clerics of TaclobansFinest were disabled here. The Ink Cleric is dead, And while the DR Cleric is muted, nice reaction by the Raiders of BaiOnTop there. Fast reaction. Now they are just clearing the remaining fighters of TaclobansFinest there. That was another good execution by BaiOnTop there. I don't think they have any casualties there. Now Tigazin is trying to fight this alone. BB got ulti kill. The current score now is 4-6. Still in favor of BaiOnTop. Shout out to the 72 viewers. I hope you're still enjoying. I think this will be the best match. So far, I think this is the best match so far. So as usual, Doja Cat is trying to find someone to sleep and absolve so as the clerics of TaclobansFinest here. Blackfin did cast his blink trying to initiate, but I think his instinct told him not to go through. Now they're just waiting for the right time. They're just following their instinct when to initiate. Ziduda here is just standing by, I think, trying to bite someone here. Or maybe he's just lagging. Now that was a nice blink by Jisoo, but one of the clerics of TaclobansFinest were able to counterattack that. Now Jisoo is being aimed by the 3 raiders of TaclobansFinest, and yes, Jisoo still survive here. BB is trying to kill the Ink Cleric alone here. Ziduda is disabled, so as the TR Cleric. The Ink Cleric of TaclobansFinest were disabled here. Where's the other raider? Now both raiders of the BaiOnTop aimed on the Ink Cleric. Yes, they were able to kill the Ink Cleric successfully. Now they're chasing for the DR Cleric here, the muted DR Cleric. With the help of Blackpin, will they able to successfully chase and kill him? While the muted is still on duration. Yes, they were able to kill the DR Cleric. That was on the edge. I think the DR's Cleric mute just ran out, but they have successfully stunned him. Nice reaction by the raiders of BaiOnTop there. That was unfortunate. That was unfortunate for TaclobansFinest. Another good execution by BaiOnTop. The current score now is 4-7, still in favor of BaiOnTop. Tigazin not line up on 4. I think let's just let the organizers decide on that. Maybe they can decide later on how it's gonna be. Did you hear that Turkish but for the organizers if you're on the stream? To be honest, I'm not familiar with the rules. So Ziduda, as usual, Doja Cat, Blackpin is trying to initiate here, but he got slapped by the DR Cleric. Now he managed to blink and find a target there. The 3 fighters, 1 mage and 2 raider of BaiOnTop are trying to chase Ziduda here, but I think both raiders got absolved. Lucky absolved from the TaclobansFinest there. Now I think this will mess up the gameplay of BaiOnTop with both of the damage on their team are disabled and dead. Now Unburnt is trying to recover BB here, while the fighters of two raiders of the TaclobansFinest were disabled there, but Right after the duration of their stun, they aim for Unburnt. Unburnt is still disabled here. Doja Cat has successfully slapped the DR Cleric of Tacloban's Finest. Now most of the fighters of BaiOnTop are trying to clear the clerics here. Even unbuffed. Both raiders of BaiOnTop are not fully buffed. They have different targets here. Now Ziduda is disabled, but the fighters of BaiOnTop are busy aiming on the Int Cleric. Doja Cat is trying to slip the Int Cleric. I think Doja Cat is trying to buy some time for Unburnt to buff their raiders, but Unburnt Int Cleric of BaiOnTop is dead. Yeah, there are like 3 different clashes on this part. My brain cannot cope up. So both traders of nice recovery from the clerics of BaiOnTop there. They were able to buff immediately their two raiders. Yeah, it was a good recovery by Doja Cat, I think. Doja Cat is playing a good part here because their Int Cleric is dying so much, but he was able to recover them. Even the raiders of BaiOnTop, most of the time they were unbuffed. Nice recovery by the BaiOnTop there on that round. So the current score now is 4-8. Still in favor of BaiOnTop. I think the momentum is on BaiOnTop side. Yeah. So far, what I can see on this match is that Doja Cat is the MVP. Because you can see most of the fighters and the Int Cleric of BaiOnTop are dying, but Doja Cat is trying to buy some time. And also good recovery from her. Now most of the players here are stunned, while the clerics are on the sides. Now Jisoo is trying to disable the DR Cleric of Tacloban's Finest here. The DR Cleric of Tacloban's Finest is trying to support the Ink Cleric here. Shortcuts and Powerful is in Doja Cat. Will they able to kill Doja Cat? But Unburnt is trying to support Doja Cat here. Even with the support, Powerful was able to kill Doja Cat. Now B and BB is aiming on shortcuts. They're aiming for shortcuts. Now they chase attack to the Ink Cleric. Yes, they successfully killed the Ink Cleric, but the DR Cleric of Tacloban's Finest was able to reso immediately the Ink Cleric here. I think both clerics of BaiOnTop are dead. Now the remains of BaiOnTop were cleared by Tacloban's Finest. So the current score now is 5-8, still in favor of BaiOnTop. So there you go. As usual, the clerics are trying to find some target for their sleep or absolve. Doja Cat is trying to initiate and oh no, Doja Cat is just fighting and trying to slip someone here. Both teams are just taking their time to initiate, just feeling it. But the DR cleric of TaclobansFinest got disabled, but the fighters of BaiOnTop didn't choose to kill him. Instead, they went for the Ziduda. Ziduda is disabled here, but the fighters of BaiOnTop wasn't able to react on that immediately, and BB got died here by shortcuts, I think. Most of the TaclobansFinest members are disabled, but there's no fighters damage to kill them because the fighters of BaiOnTop were busy trying to chase for Duda. Now Ziduda is trying to disable Doja Cat here. Tigazin is aiming on Unburnt alone. First powerful. There's so much going on. There's like 3 clashes, 1 clash here, 1 clash here, and 1 clash here. But what I can see is that TaclobansFinest clerics are dead. Now, BaiOnTop is just clearing out the remaining members of TaclobansFinest here. Wait, what's the score now, guys? 5-9? So the current score now is 5-9, guys. One more win for BaiOnTop, and they're already the winner on this match. Will the TaclobansFinest able to have a comeback here? I think BaiOnTop gained their momentum on the 5th round. Doja Cat is trying to bite here. Yeah, so far guys, what I can tell is that Doja Cat is the MVP because she makes notable gameplay here. Most of her teammates are dead, but she was able to buy time by running around and try to recover unburnt most of the time. The Raiders and the Cleric of BaiOnTop are dead. Now Blackfin were on Blink trying to initiate, but I think he wasn't able to click a target there for the stun. Nice stun by Blackfin there. Nice stun. He was able to stun 2 fighters. Nice execution. I think that's it. That stun is the decision maker, or that's like the 5 million echo stun. Nice stun by Blackpin there. I think the missing of target is blessing in disguise. That was a clean execution by BaiOnTop there. GG's. Congrats on the BaiOnTop, and also thank you for TaclobansFinest for showing us a good match. Even though the score is 5-10, both teams did well, but BaiOnTop is just better. I think they have just better execution here. But I can tell that TaclobansFinest is really good too. So congrats to BaiOnTop. So don't go yet Don't go away yet, guys. We will have a giveaway according to Poor Man.